Okay, so now if you can see, so many of you might get a doubt that where exactly we can use this method of sections. So method of sections is generally used, I already said, but I'm repeating again, used when we need to calculate, when we need to calculate only specified members, only specified members of a trust, specified, calculate forces. We need to calculate forces in only specified members of trust, then method of sections would hold good. Okay. So if you can see this example here, it's a platform or a footpath bridge. So this will transfer the passengers getting down a railway station to the road. Normally we see it in our places also. Long trusses are often used to construct bridges. The method of joints requires that many joints should be analyzed before we can determine. But is there any other way that we can determine these forces? Then that is method of sections. So in that regard, yes, normally these type of application or these type of bridges where we can, like a footpath bridge, footover bridge can be seen in metro stations, rightly said by Ratna. So the thing is, in the method of sections, you can see here a truss is divided into two parts by taking an imaginary cut. There won't be any reality. It's not in reality, but it's an imaginary cut. So since the truss members are subjected to only either tensile or compressive, the internal forces at the cut member also will be the same. So this result is based on equilibrium principle and Newton's third law. What is Newton's third law? For every action, there is equal and opposite reaction. So for every action, so there is a section cut here. So each and every member also will be under tension. You can see here, this is tension, this is tension, this is tension, and this is tension. So because the equilibrium concept holds good even for the portion that is cut. Okay. Now, how do we need to analyze this truss? So first step is to decide how you need to cut the truss. Okay. How you need to cut and where we need to cut. Now that depends on where you need to determine the forces, where you need to determine the forces, or where the total number of unknowns does not exceed 3. Total number of unknowns does not exceed 3. Okay, so what are the two portions or the two main factors that we need to consider before cutting? Where do we need to determine the forces, and at the same time where the total number of unknowns does not exceed 3. So if these two conditions are satisfied, we can appropriately choose that and cut the section. Okay. Now, moving forward, next second step, decide decide which side of the cut truss will be easier to work. Which side will be easier to work? So what do you mean by which side will be easier? So that means if you have a truss given, I will show an example in the coming slides. I will show an example. So you are given with a long truss. Imagine a case where you are traveling in a train, mostly on a railway bridge like Howrah Bridge, like you have a longest steel bridge in Vijayawada or any other places. So if you can try to see when you are traveling, there are so many members. There are so many members. But can we analyze the forces in all the members? Is it that easy? No, definitely not. And okay, I know how to choose method of joints. So can I go ahead with method of joints? Yes, I can. But how long will it take for me to go with method of joints? So these are some questions we need to ask. Then I got a solution that, okay, I need to calculate the force only in an X member. So from the entire bridge, let me see. For example, there are 30 members in a bridge. I'm giving an example. There are 30 members in a bridge, and I have to calculate the forces on the eighth member. Okay, let me take an example that from left to right, a train is moving from left to right, and I need to calculate the force on the eighth member. Left 0, right 30, dead end. But somewhere in between, I need to take eighth member force. I need to calculate. So if I have to calculate the force in the eighth member, which is the nearest portion, left side or right side? Because right side, how many members I have? 21 more members I have. And left side, sorry, 22 more members I have. And left side. Left side, I have only 8 members. Okay. Left, I have 8 members. Right, I have 22 members. Which is easy for me to cut the section? Which portion do I need to cut and take? Left or right? Definitely it will be the left portion, because the number of members are pretty less. That's what is seen here. So decide which side of the cut truss will be easier to work with, so that we have minimum number of reactions to find. If required, determine the necessary support reactions by drawing the free body diagram of the entire truss and applying equations of equilibrium, which we have been already doing it. So now if you see that this is the truss that is given, and you have to calculate the forces in the members BC, GC and GF. See here, you have to calculate the forces in the member BC, GC, GF. So what we did, we have cut a section that would pass through all these three members, and we are taking the left hand side. So what happens here? This member will have a tension here, that is FBC, and this diagonal member will have tension FGC, and this member will have corresponding tension or compression depending upon what we take. Okay, so now, so with this, one more thing, this specific portion can be tension or compression. You already have understood that whatever assumption you make, ultimately if it is correct, you will go ahead, otherwise you cannot go ahead. That is the understanding that we will get out of this. Okay, now let us move forward and see what we are trying to do. So if I take another part of the section, that is right hand side, you have FBC in this direction, FGC and FGF. Okay, so here I have 1000 Newton load. Here I have two support reactions. Okay, now what did we do now? So here from this chosen part, we need to sketch the free body diagram, and we need to identify the or indicate the unknown forces at the cut members. So initially what we will assume that all the members are in tension, no problem. Once if we solve the forces in the member, initial assumption is tension, but later we got compression. What does that mean? It means that our assumption is wrong, so no problem. So that is how we need to carry out the analysis till fourth step. Now in the last step, we need to apply the equations of equilibrium to the selected cut section here, like for example sigma fx 0. So once we write sigma fx 0, what we will get? FBC plus FG. See here, all of you can see on the screen, this is an inclined member. Okay, we can resolve it into components, isn't it? So that is FGC cos and FGC sine. So sigma fx is equal to 0. What do we write? FBC plus FGC cos theta. If this is compression, minus FGF. Over now. Now what are the unknowns? BC unknown, GC unknown, GF unknown. Now let us write sigma Fy is equal to 0. Then we have this part, that is what? 1000 downward minus 1000. Okay, and this upward part plus FGC sine 45. FGC sine 45. So you will get the value of FGC from this 1000 by sine 45. So like that, we will try to get the solution for every problem depending upon the joint we choose, sorry, the section we cut, and appropriately we need to apply the equations of equilibrium. Okay. Now, let us say, for example, if this is the problem. Okay. Yeah. So now let us take a small example here, but it's a very interesting problem. So see here, these are the supports where a bridge is being constructed. At different levels, heights can be calculated. Each span is 4 meters. The height at the edges is 3 meter, and at center it is 6 meter, and then this is 5 meter, this is 4 meters. So it will keep on decreasing. So 3, 4, 5, and 6 are the corresponding heights of the truss. Now, what we need to calculate? We need to calculate the forces in the members DE, DL, and ML. What is that? DE, DL, ML. So see here. So this is DE and this is DL. Okay. And this is ML. So that is why the section was cut in the pink color. This is the section. The section was cut. That is the first step. Now see the here process. Take a cut through the members DE, DL, and ML. Second step, work with the left part of the section. Why? Because number of members are less. Number of members are less, and equations of equilibrium. Equations of equilibrium can be used in a simplified manner. Can be used in a simple way. Okay, that's why we have chosen this part of left section. Then determine the support reaction at A. All of you can see on the screen. Now imagine a case where, okay, imagine a case where, so 4, 4, 4, 4, so this is total 24 meter, and how many loads are there? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is it a symmetry or asymmetrical load? Whatever you are seeing on the screen, is it symmetrical or asymmetrical? Is it symmetrical or asymmetrical? All the loads. So symmetrical means from center, whatever we have in the left, same thing will be there in the right also. Symmetrical means whatever we have towards the left of the center will be same as right of the center. So is it symmetry or asymmetry? Yes, symmetrical. Symmetrical means from center the loads are same to left comma right. The loads are same to left and right. So yes, there are mirror loads, correct. Now is it not easy to find the reaction? So see here, 12, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, 5, 60 plus 2, 6, 12, 72 total load. What will be the reaction here? RA, total load 72, symmetrical. What will be RA and RB? If it is a symmetrical load, what will be RA? RA will be 36 kilonewton and RB will be, in fact, RI is not RB. RI will be 36 kilonewton because of the symmetry. Okay. Now we have cut the section and now apply the equations of equilibrium to find the forces. Now you all can see here on the screen that this was cut. So this was cut and all the forces are assumed to be under tension. You can see here. So there is a 6 kilonewton load, 12 kilonewton load, 12 kilonewton load, and we have a reaction 36 kilonewton. So we need the forces in the member DE, DL, and ML. So this is DE, tension. This is DL, tension, and ML also tension. Now here we need to just know these heights. So for that, horizontal is 4 and vertical is 1. Why 1? Because this is 3 meters, this is 4 meters, this is 5 meters. Okay, and the additional part vertical is 1. Here also additional part vertical is 1. I will sketch it here. You see here, all of you, I am going like this. Okay, so this is 3 meters. So this is 3 meters. So this is also 3 meters. So this is 1 meter. This is 1 meter. This is 1 meter. Okay. When we want to calculate the diagonal part, how do we do? Pythagoras theorem. So vertical 1, horizontal is 4. So here also vertical 5, the total, and horizontal is 4. So 25 plus 16 root 41. Why we are trying to calculate that? Because we need the theta values for that. Okay, now we got the reactions. So from the reactions, you see here, first of all we need to calculate the value of FML. So when we are trying to calculate the value of FML, you see here, all of you can see on the screen, to calculate the force in the member ML, either we can take sigma fx, sigma fy, but what will happen? Earlier you have seen, no? See here. So here we got FGC is equal to 1000 by sine 45. 1000 by sine 45. You got the value of FGC. But when I substitute in sigma fx, let me write here. Sigma fx is equal to 0. That means what I will get? FBC, okay, plus FGC cos theta, FGC cos theta, FBC plus FGC cos theta, okay, and plus FGF if I assume tension. So now what did we get? What did we get here? FGC we got. Still how many unknowns are there? 2 unknowns are left. Can we solve the problem like this? Can we solve the problem like this? With 2 unknowns and with only one condition? Can we get FBC and FGF out of this? FBC and FGF, we are not getting it because we have 3 unknown forces and we have only 2 reactions. And that's where in method of sections, you can always have the flexibility to use the third condition, that is moment. Same thing was applied here. So what they have? Sigma fx 0, sigma fy 0 and sigma m 0. So when they are calculating sigma m, what they need to do? So they need to apply it at any moment at a joint. Okay. So in order to get the force in the member ML, which is at the bottom member, where can we take the moment? We need to take the moment at joint D. So to calculate FML, take moment about joint D. Take moment about joint D. Okay. So take moment about joint D. Why joint D? Why can't any other thing? Because you cannot, because this is horizontal, you cannot take any moment with respect to horizontal joints. We need to take only at the top joints, that is at the top, and that immediate top is D. So when we take this as immediate top D and clockwise positive, can you say what do we get? Sigma MD is equal to 0. What do we get? RA, that is 36 into, so clockwise positive, 36 into 8, yes, 36 into 8, isn't it? We are taking about joint D. So how many forces are there? You need to take that. Okay. Minus 6 into 8, because there is a load 6 downwards. 6 into 8 minus 12 into 4. See that here? Minus 12 into 4. This 12 into 4. So whatever load we have at D, we should not consider. And FML is the horizontal force. So FML into height, that is anti-clockwise, minus FML into what is total height till D. See here, total height FML till D. So that value will be 5 is equal to 0. So what is FML? So FML will be 36 into 8. So 288 minus 48 minus 48 is equal to 5 into FML. Okay. So FML is equal to 288 minus 96. 288 minus 96 divided by 5. 38.4. 38.4 kilonewton or 38.4 kilonewton tension. So what are we trying to understand from this now? Everywhere we need to first check whether we can solve the problem using the two sigma fx, sigma fy. If not, directly go to sigma md. Okay, that's what is done. FML is equal to 38.4 kilonewton. Okay, you need not look into whatever they have done here, not required, because they use different sign convention. That's why I have solved it for myself using whatever the sign convention we have. Next, what do we need to do? We got FML like that. What else we need? FDE. All of you see here, FDE. So this member we want. Where do we need to take the moment now? Can we solve it with sigma fx or sigma fy? Not possible, because we need to resolve. In order to get in simple terms, take moments about this joint bottom. So I will write a thumb rule here. When we are calculating forces in the bottom members, take moment about top joint. Take moment about top joint. And when we are calculating the forces in the top members, take moment about the bottom joint. I'll write that also. 1, 2. For top members, take moment about bottom joint. Okay. This is what we need. So when we are trying to understand that specific part, then it becomes very easy for us to calculate. Okay. Now taking moments about this L. What do we get? I will write it here slowly. All of you also can see it carefully. I'm just zooming the screen. I'm trying to take the moments at joint L. If I think I have a space here. Let me write here. You forget about what they have already solved. That is not required. We will do on our own process. Okay. Sigma ML is equal to 0. What do we have? So 36 into 12. Okay. Minus 6 into 12. Because see, 36 into 3/4. L is here. And 6 into 12 minus 12 into 8. Isn't it? 12 into 2 forces. 8. Another 12 minus 12 into 4. Isn't it? And then FDE clockwise. See FDE clockwise. So when you are taking FDE into this vertical distance, okay, so this is actually inclined member and we need to resolve it. So that will be, so this height is 6 meter. So FDE, see here, this is 4. So this is 4, this is 5, and this is root 40, root, 1 second, root 17 here. See here, FDE is here. So this specific part we need to take. What, so sine theta, cos theta. So what is sine theta? Sine theta will be 1 by root 17. Cos theta will be 4 by root 17. I will write here. Sine theta is equal to 1 by root 17. Cos theta is equal to 4 by root 17 for this member. So FDE. So when we resolve it, because this is an immediate part, and one more thing, you might get a doubt that why aren't we considering this part? We cannot do that, no, because this is FDL. So for FDE, the inclination is this. So plus FDE into cos theta into 6 is equal to 0. So this will be 4 by root 17. So from this, FDE is equal to minus 37. I am just writing the answer. Kilonewton, or is equal to 37.11 kilonewton compression. Okay. And similarly, we need to take it for FDL. So for FDL, what do we need to do? See now, we got FDE, we got FML. Now you can see here, for FDL, we can choose, or don't write we, choose sigma Fx is equal to 0. As simple as that. What are the horizontal forces? FML is 1, isn't it? And 4 by root 17 into minus 37.11. So this is the one. So FDE into cos theta, horizontal. And what else we have? 4 by root 41. So that cos theta value. 4 by root 41 into FDL. That is correct, no? Simple. When we are trying to resolve, we are trying to resolve this into horizontal and vertical components. This also resolve into horizontal and vertical components. So when we are trying to resolve that into horizontal and vertical components, we are trying to get the value of FDL. Okay, FDL. So there we have 38.4. I will write FML plus 4 by root 17, that is horizontal value, into FDE plus FDL into 4 by root 41 is equal to 0. That implies FDL is equal to minus 3.84 kilonewton, or 3.84 kilonewton compression. So this is for your very basic fundamental understanding of how we are trying to solve a problem using method of sections. So what are some of the important points we need to understand here? Important points while analyzing a problem using the method of sections. I will write it here such that it will be useful for your next class. So important points for method of sections. Method of sections. First one, cut the section appropriately wherever we need to calculate the force. Choose the direction of cut with less number of members. Third, if sigma fx comma sigma fy is equal to 0 does not give forces in unknown members, use sigma m is equal to 0. For bottom member, I'm repeating again. For bottom member, take moment about top joint. And for a top member, take moment about bottom joint. Okay. And then sixth step, after using sigma m is equal to 0, after using sigma m is equal to 0, after using sigma m is equal to 0, we can use sigma fx comma sigma fy is equal to 0 for the calculation of forces in remaining members. Okay. So here, these are the 6 main points you need to remember while solving a problem using method of sections. Cut the section appropriately wherever you need to calculate the force. Choose the direction of the cut with the less number of members. Means, as I've already shown before, wherever you have left side or right side, I'll write it in the brackets. Left or right. Okay. I hope you got it right. So left or right. Appropriately you need to take and then solve the problem. Okay. So, so that is how we have to analyze the method of sections. With small example I have shown. One more problem also I will solve it on the whiteboard in the next class, one big truss. And then we will go to tension coefficient method, which is simple again. It's only one problem in that. That's not that important, but because it is there, we have to solve it, and we will try to solve it for one problem, tension coefficient method. So this week, sometime on Friday, we will be having a PLA, Friday or Saturday. I will let you know what all we will cover in that and what you need to choose and all. So if somebody has any doubts, you can please ask me. Otherwise, that's it for today's class. Thank you all.